Breaking news, Vikings Nation, 5 bombshells are about to detonate inside U.S. Bank Stadium. And what's coming will shake this franchise to its core. A kicker robbed by the league itself, with the NFL's response absolutely bizarre. A quarterback controversy spiraling into crisis mode heading into the Eagles game. The draft decision that's haunting every Vikings fan. Who watched Drake May destroy defenses on Sunday? And a rookie pass rusher being crucified by stats while doing elite work nobody sees. This isn't just news, this is a 5-alarm fire. If you bleed purple and gold, strap in, because the storm starts now with an injustice so blatant. Even the NFL had to admit they screwed up, but they're not doing a damn thing about it. Picture this, Minnesota grinding out a road win in London against Cleveland. Carson Wentz orchestrating a comeback, defense locked in. Every point matters. Then when Reichard lines up for a 51-yard field goal, clean snap, perfect hold, beautiful follow through, and the ball sails wide right, missed, or so it seemed. Vikings Nation, what actually happened will make your blood boil. That kick didn't miss because Reichard shanked it. It hit a Skycam cable hanging over the field, causing the ball to veer off course like it hit an invisible force field. The refs didn't see it. They marked it as a miss, Reichard's first of the season, and moved on. But video evidence surfaced immediately. Fans saw it. Analysts saw it. The football world saw the ball ricochet off that cable. According to NFL rules, when a kick strikes a cable, the play gets redone. It's right there in black and white. So the Vikings and Reichard's agents submitted a formal request to remove the missed field goal from his stats. The league's response? Absolutely bizarre. They admitted it. The NFL said yes, the refs missed the call. Yes, the ball hit the cable. Yes, it should have been redone. Then they dropped the hammer. They're not changing the stat. They're leaving that blemish on Reichard's record. Let that sink in. The league admitted they were wrong, and they're letting the injustice stand. Now some might say it's just one kick. Who cares? Here's why it matters. Reichard came into this season needing to prove himself. After a quad injury derailed him mid-season last year, through 5 games, he'd been flawless, 11 for 11 on extra points, 8 for 8 on field goals, including a franchise record 62-yarder. That London kick would have been 9 for 9. Perfect. Instead, his stat line reads 8 for 9, with one miss that never should have counted. Head coach Kevin O'Connell didn't even see it happen. Nobody in the booth caught it. Reichard said the kick felt good off his foot. This is the same guy O'Connell called almost dangerous because of how much trust he has in him. That's the confidence you want in your kicker when games are decided by 3 points. When playoff seeding comes down to T-breakers because of a cable that shouldn't have been there. Reichard has a bogus missed kick the NFL admits was wrong, but won't erase. The silver lining? The Vikings won anyway. Wentz led a game-winning drive, finding Jordan Addison in the end zone to steal victory. If Minnesota had lost by 3, this controversy would have exploded. But just because the team escaped doesn't erase the injustice. But Reichard deserved better. Vikings Nation deserves better than a league that admits mistakes and refuses to correct them. If you think Reichard got robbed and the NFL's response is a slap in the face, smash that like button, because this proves we can't trust the league to do the right thing. But as infuriating as that is, the next revelation cuts deeper, because it's about what's happening inside the Vikings locker room right now. And it's been driving Vikings Nation insane for weeks. Who is the starting quarterback? The first-round rookie anointed the future, or the grizzled veteran who's gone 2-1 as starter and proven he can still sling it? For weeks, rumors swirled. Whispers the Vikings were quietly benching J.J. McCarthy. Speculation Carson Wentz stole the job. Now we have confirmation from Tom Pelissero on NFL Game Day. J.J. McCarthy is the starting quarterback, period. When he's healthy, when he's ready, when he's cleared, the job is his. But, massive but, McCarthy still isn't 100%. That high ankle sprain from week 2 against Atlanta, it's lingering. He worked extensively during the bye week, in extra reps, rehabbing around the clock. But the ankle isn't fully healed. The mobility isn't there yet. High ankle sprains are sneaky, fine one day, flare up the next. The medical staff needs to see how it responds to cutting, planting, all the movements a quarterback makes. Until they're convinced McCarthy can operate at full capacity, they're not rushing him back. Does that mean Wentz starts against the Eagles? Maybe, because here's the wrinkle. Wentz is dealing with his own injury, a left shoulder issue from that Browns game. He left the field briefly in the second quarter, came back and finished with that heroic touchdown drive, but the shoulder's bothering him. O'Connell said Wentz could be limited in practice, which means they're not sure if he'll go. Let's break this down. The rookie starter has a lingering ankle sprain keeping him sidelined, the veteran backup nursing a shoulder injury, and the only other quarterback, Max Brosmer, an undrafted rookie who's barely seen the field outside garbage time. If that's not chaos heading into a critical divisional matchup, I don't know what is. And here's what's been eating at fans. The idea McCarthy was secretly benched. That narrative never made sense. O'Connell tried shutting it down weeks ago when asked point blank if McCarthy would start once healthy. Classic O'Connell. He didn't give a definitive yes, but made it clear McCarthy's development is the priority. You don't rush a 22-year-old back if he's not ready. O'Connell talked about the 10,000 reps it takes to master the position. How missing practice time matters when you're a rookie. That's not benching your guy, that's protecting your investment. Make no mistake, J.J. McCarthy is this franchise's future. He's the guy Adolfo-Mensah traded up to get. The guy who looked electric in camp, showed flashes in preseason, came out firing before that ankle injury derailed everything. The job is his, always has been. Wentz has been everything the Vikings asked for as a stopgap, and if he's healthy enough to start against Philly, he'll give Minnesota a chance. But the moment McCarthy is cleared, he's back under center. That's the plan. That's reality. If you've been stressing about this quarterback controversy, exhale. Now, does that mean smooth sailing? No. The Eagles' game is looming, and the Vikings might trot out a banged-up Wentz or a not-quite-ready McCarthy against the defense. That's been suffocating quarterbacks all season, but this team has found ways to win ugly all year. The defense has been dominant. O'Connell has proven he can scheme guys open and put quarterbacks in positions to succeed. Yeah, the situation is murky, but it's not disaster. If you trust O'Connell and Flores to figure it out, drop a comment, Team JJ or Team Carson, because this decision will define the Viking season. And just when you thought the drama couldn't intensify, the next story takes uncertainty to a new level. Because heading into one of the biggest games of the season, the Vikings literally have no idea who's under center. Tom Pelissero called it murky, and that's the understatement of the year. Less than a week before kickoff against Philly, both quarterbacks are questionable, and the Vikings are staring down a nightmare scenario. McCarthy got tons of work during the bye, extra reps, film study, conditioning. O'Connell was optimistic, saying McCarthy's workload would increase. But reality check, McCarthy still isn't 100% on that ankle. Mobility is improving, but not where it needs to be. For a quarterback in this offense, mobility matters. You've got to move in the pocket, climb the ladder, escape pressure. If McCarthy can't do those things at full speed, he's not just limited, he's a sitting duck. The Vikings need to see him practice this week, see how the ankle responds before they commit. Then there's Wentz, the warrior who led that comeback in London, proving he can still play at a high level. But now he's dealing with a left shoulder injury. You can't throw with torque, can't zip balls into tight windows, can't make downfield plays. Wentz could be limited all week, and even if he suits up, there's real questions about effectiveness. If both can't go, Max Brosmer, undrafted rookie with one NFL appearance, a brief cameo when Wentz left with the shoulder injury in London. Brosmer is a local kid, feel-good story, tons of talent, but throwing him against a Philly defense, that's held quarterbacks to an 83.3 rating. That's asking a lot. The Eagles' defense might not be getting tons of sacks, only 9 this season, but they're disciplined, physical, make quarterbacks uncomfortable, and they know Carson Wentz inside out. He was the franchise cornerstone in Philly before things went sideways. Back in 2022 with Washington, the Eagles sacked him 9 times in one game. 9. They demolished him. Different Wentz, different line, different situation, but the Eagles remember. Their front 7 remembers. They're licking their chops. So what's the play? Start McCarthy even if he's not fully healthy? Roll with Wentz and pray the shoulder holds up? Take a massive gamble on the rookie? No easy answer. O'Connell will wait until the last moment. Might be a game-time decision. But here's the silver lining. The Vikings have been in tougher spots and found ways to win. Defense is playing lights out. Offensive line better than expected. Running game clicking. O'Connell is one of the best play callers in the league. He schemes around limitations, puts guys in positions to succeed, steals wins when odds are stacked. Yeah, the quarterback situation is a mess, but not a death sentence. If you believe this team can upset the Eagles no matter who's under center, hit that subscribe button, because Vikings Nation doesn't fold when things get tough. We fight, adapt, and find a way to win. But trust me, as stressful as the quarterback situation is, the next story hits you in the gut, because it's not about who's playing now. It's about who could have been wearing purple and gold. Sunday was weird for Vikings fans. Bye week, no game to stress over. Instead, Vikings Nation was flipping through Red Zone, scrolling highlights, catching action around the league. One name kept popping up: Drake May. The Patriots' second-year quarterback was torching the Saints. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, confidence, and swagger. His 5th straight game with a rating over 100. Season stats: 1,522 yards, 10 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground, to picks. Rating of 112.5. Franchise quarterback numbers. Numbers that scream this guy is the future. And here's where it gets painful. The Vikings tried to draft him. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah put together a package to move to the 3rd overall pick where May was sitting. According to reports, the Vikings offered the Patriots the 11th and 23rd picks, plus a future first-rounder with pick swaps favoring Minnesota. That's a massive haul. But New England said no. They took May and left the Vikings scrambling. Breaking down that trade package stings. The 11th pick became J.J. McCarthy. The 23rd became Dallas Turner. A future first is still out there. So basically, the Vikings would have given up McCarthy, Turner, and Donovan Jackson to land May. Hindsight is 2020, but watching May light up defenses while McCarthy's sidelined with an ankle injury, that hurts. It's not just stats or highlight throws. It's what May represents: a quarterback ready to play who didn't need a redshirt year, already showing he can carry an offense. McCarthy is only 22. He's got the talent, arm, mobility, football IQ, but right now, he's dealing with injuries. Missed critical development time. Only had 8 quarters of NFL action, with 1 quarter truly impressive. Meanwhile, May looks like a Pro Bowler. And it's not just May. Sam Darnold, who Minnesota traded after preseason, is having a career renaissance in Seattle. Daniel Jones, who the Vikings offered big money to stay as McCarthy's backup, turned them down and is now starting for Indy at a Pro Bowl level. So May's thriving in New England, Darnold resurrecting in Seattle, Jones living up to potential in Indy. The Vikings, stuck in quarterback purgatory, figuring out if McCarthy is ready, if Wentz can hold up, or if they're handing keys to an undrafted rookie. Does that mean the Vikings made the wrong call? Not necessarily. Developing a young quarterback is never linear. There are bumps, setbacks, growing pains. The coaching staff believes in McCarthy. O'Connell sees franchise traits and knows about developing quarterbacks. But the optics are rough. Watching May dominate while McCarthy sits with a bum ankle, tough to swallow, raises uncomfortable questions. What if the Vikings landed May? Would they be 5-0? Would the offense click at a higher level? Would there be doubt about the future? We'll never know. That's what makes this painful. The what-ifs, the maybes, the sliding doors moment. But you can't live in the past. The Vikings made their choice. They believe in McCarthy. Until he gets a fair shot, a full season of reps, we won't know if it was right. Yeah, Sunday hurt. Watching May carve up defenses hurt. But the story's not over. McCarthy's journey is beginning, and if he stays healthy, gets development time, he might prove the Vikings right all along. If you still believe in J.J. McCarthy, if you think he can be the franchise quarterback this team needs, drop a like. Vikings Nation doesn't give up on its guys. And the final story might be the most misunderstood, most unfairly criticized narrative of the season, about a player judged on wrong metrics, attacked for not putting up flashy numbers, completely overlooked for actual impact. Dallas Turner, the Vikings' first-rounder from 2024, the edge rusher supposed to be a game wrecker, sack artist, the next great pass rusher. If you've scrolled Twitter, listened to hot takes, you think Turner is a bust. 1 sack through 5 games? That's the narrative. 1 sack, and he's roasted for it. But here's reality. Anyone judging Dallas Turner solely on sacks doesn't understand football, doesn't understand Brian Flores' defense, and doesn't understand Turner's role. The Vikings traded up twice to get him, from 42 to 23, then 23 to 17, surrendering future capital, massive investment. Some fans criticize spending picks on a guy not putting up eye-popping stats. But here's what critics miss. Turner isn't being asked to pin his ears back and rush every snap. He's not Danielle Hunter, not a one-dimensional edge rusher. He's playing a hybrid role, a do-everything position requiring versatility, discipline, football IQ. Think Anthony Barr at his best. Barr never had monster sack numbers, but was invaluable because he could do everything: rush, drop into coverage, stop the run, blow up screens. That's Turner's role, and he's excelling. Out of Turner's 141 defensive snaps, only 8 of 5 were pure pass rushing. The rest, defending the run, dropping into coverage, executing Flores' exotic blitzes. In those 85 pass rushing snaps, he generated 12 pressures. That's a 14.1% pressure rate, really good for a rookie. He's winning matchups, collapsing pockets, making quarterbacks uncomfortable. But sacks aren't there yet, and that's what people fixate on. Here's the thing, sacks are great, but not the only measure of effectiveness. Pressures matter. Disrupting timing matters. Forcing quarterbacks to move matters. Turner does all that. His ability to bend around the edge, use leverage, close on quarterbacks, that shows on film, even if not on the stat sheet. Stopping the run, Turner's been excellent. The Vikings' run defense is significantly better when he's on field. He's strong at point of attack, disciplined in gap assignments, got lateral quickness to chase plays. Flores praised Turner's versatility, saying he can line up anywhere, rush from anywhere, contribute multiple ways. That's what the Vikings need. Now, the criticism. First-round edge rushers are expected to be sack machines right away, but Turner is only 22. Didn't get tons of playing time as a rookie because Van Ginkel and Greenard were ahead of him, playing at all pro levels. Turner's real development is happening now in year 2, and he's showing massive growth. Kevin O'Connell has been effusive, calling his excitement for Turner real, authentic, genuine. O'Connell talks about Turner's journey, the leap he's making, how the staff views him as one of 3 potential starters on the edge. That's high praise, not coach speak, a vote of confidence. And people miss Turner's role in Flores' simulated pressures. Flores loves disguising blitzes, showing pressure then dropping guys into coverage. Turner is key because he's athletic enough to drop and smart enough to read quarterbacks' eyes. That versatility is incredibly valuable, but doesn't show in box scores. Shows in all 180 film, in how offenses account for him, how quarterbacks check out of plays. Yeah, Turner only has 1 sack, but 12 pressures, force against the run, executing a complex hybrid role in one of the most sophisticated defenses in the NFL. The sacks will come. Production will come. When it does, critics calling him a bust will look foolish. If you've actually watched games, understand what Turner's asked to do. You know he's making an impact. If you believe in Dallas Turner, think he'll be a stud for years, smash that like button. This kid is special, and it's only time before the league figures it out. So here we are. Vikings Nation, 5 stories shaping the rest of this season. 5 controversies testing this team's resolve. 5 questions without easy answers. Riker got robbed and the NFL admitted it, but refused to make it right. Bitter pill. But a reminder you've got to fight for what's yours. The quarterback situation is tangled with McCarthy trying to prove he's the future, while Wentz holds down the fort and an undrafted rookie waits in the wings. But through uncertainty, the Vikings keep winning. The Drake may what if will haunt this franchise unless McCarthy becomes the guy we hope he can be. But dwelling on the past won't change the present. And Dallas Turner, judged by wrong metrics, criticized for not putting up sacks when doing everything else at elite level. He'll silence doubters and it'll be glorious. This team is 4-1, near the top of the NFC North, playing best defense in the league. Somehow still overlooked nationally. The Eagles are coming. Everyone watching to see if the Vikings can hang with desperate Philly fighting for playoff life. But doubters don't understand. This Vikings team thrives in chaos. They've won with backup quarterbacks, overcome injuries, battled controversies, keep finding ways to get it done. If you've been riding with them all season, believe this team can make noise in January. This is your moment to stand up. Drop a like if Riker deserved better. Comment if you're Team JJ or Team Carson. Subscribe if you believe Turner will be a beast. Vikings Nation doesn't back down, doesn't give up, doesn't let haters dictate the narrative. This is our team, our season, and the next 72 hours might be the most critical of the year. The Eagles game will tell us if this team is pretender or contender. The quarterback decision sets the tone for the rest of the season. How the Vikings respond to adversity defines who they are. Stay locked in, Vikings Nation. If you thought this was wild, the real avalanche is just starting. when the dust settles, when this team is standing in the playoffs with everyone wondering how they got there, you'll remember these 5 stories, these 5 moments, and you'll know this is the week that changed everything.